fairyland. It's Tea with Tamara.
Care Bear Stare. It is super early for me to be doing my typical Tea with Tamara, so I'm not really expecting a load of people to be jumping on with me right now, but I am in a very magical 3-day retreat with the Chakra Business Academy and Avalon peeps. And so I need to be there by like 9 in the morning. So I thought I would jump on so that I could get this done and share some pretty powerfully exciting news. So I just really excited. Let me just kind of give you some feedback about the theme of this Tea with Tamara, which is never, ever give up on your dreams, you guys. I was a highly sensitive child, a crier, if you will. And I mean like a big time crier. Like my family used to say, like I had them on demand. Like I could just cry on demand to get whatever it is that I wanted, or I, could get the emotional feedback from my family. But looking back now, I absolutely 100% know that it was my highly sensitivity and my empath abilities that made me so overwhelmed with the emotions of those around me that they would leak out my eyes. Right? And then on top of that, when I was in school, hi Jim, I've got Instagram over there and I haven't talked to Jim in a long time, so I'm going to send loads of love. In high school, I couldn't actually finish high school, right? So here we are, I'm batting two things against me as I'm growing into my life and my business and where I'm moving in this world. And so like high school was a hot mess for me. Let me just put it straight up for you. I mean, like, I could say in a level of 1 to 10 on how I enjoyed high school, and it was probably a negative. My best friend was my high school guidance counselor, Violet Haggerty. If you're around, man, you got me through high school. I love you so freaking much. And really what it was is I thought everybody hated me in high school. Everybody hated me in high school. I would walk down the aisle, and I think this, now we can think, wow, that's pretty egotistical, but I would walk down the hallway, my head down, and I'd be like, oh my God, every time I looked up, I was like, everyone's talking about me. They're all saying negative things. Oh my God, I can't handle being in these hallways. But all I was doing was absorbing their emotions as they were talking to their friends. But because they were coming at me, it felt like they were directed at me. So there was no freaking way that this girl could handle high school. Out I went. Plus, I'm not a lectured learner. Sit me in a room and talk at me without any interaction or touching or things to do. Shut down. Then I still had high hopes. I still had I'm going to be something one day. So I went to university as a mature student taking health sciences because I love the human body and I wanted to work with the human body. And that's why when I joined Brock University and while I was in my first few classes, I got certified as a personal trainer while I was there. And it was shortly after that I got pregnant with my daughter. I mean, legitimately, it was really soon. It wasn't very long into it, and I was pregnant with my daughter, and biology labs made me want to vomit. And so, boom, out I went. No way was this girl going to be able to finish her university that she was really being told that you needed to do and be in order to be successful. But what I did get from starting that, because we always find the reason when we're looking back on it, and that was because of the fact that I got my personal training. And the human body, since I was 23, the human body has been all I've ever studied. You can sit me in any class, you can sit me down in any forum, in any place, and talk to me about, muscle, skeletal system, nutrition, conscious brain, subconscious brain. You give me some human body work, you light me up like a Christmas tree. Now, at this point, I was 19 and pregnant and had my child when I was 20. So again, teenage pregnancy, first man I ever slept with. We're notching all the reasons why one could step forward into their life and go, I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to amount to anything. Nothing is going to come out of my life. And people are, you know, telling you like, oh, I'm really worried about Tamara. Like, she really doesn't have anything going for her. My family was worried. Everybody was like, oh, we feel really bad. We feel really bad. She really doesn't look like she's getting where she needs to go in life, kind of deal, right? And so I struggled really hard, guys. I struggled really hard. You know, I was the strong one in my family. I could find all the reasons why life just had victim, like my capital V for victimhood was like totally maxed out. And it was just like, oh, am I ever going to be able to get it together? Am I ever going to pull it together? Am I ever going to be able to do anything? So I did the one thing everybody was like, why would you do that? Because that's how I roll. I'm a rebel and I don't do anything anybody ever tells me to do. Surprise! And I started investing in myself. See, I didn't invest in the typical university education. Like, that's how we were supposed to get everything we needed in life in order to be somebody. But what I started to do was invest in mentors and programs and gather the information that was right for me to step into my life, into my business. And so I started to like squirrel. The first one was painful, guys. The first time you invest money in yourself is a guilt-ridden experience where you're like, how could I do this? How could I take money? But when I logically said like, well, I didn't invest in the typical school system, so I'm going to invest in it now because this is what fires me up. And if I'm going to like juicily absorb everything that these people are saying, it's clearly the right path, right? And so I started to, and then came the day where I wasn't working and I had $0 in my bank account, negative dollars in my bank account to tell you the truth. Like, and I signed up to write my first book. And this is where the story really gets exciting, because it was in the writing of the first book, My Kid is Driving Me Crazy, that my business took off, because it cleared out my throat chakra, which I was so afraid to use. I was so afraid to use my voice, you guys. And I hid so many parts of my story because I thought that people would disown me. I thought if people knew I didn't finish high school, I thought that if they knew that my son had lived on the streets because he and I had like, it was just too much as a mother, and like I was not a suicide counselor, I was not all of these things. And I thought that parents with pitchforks were going to come and hunt me down and poke me. And so in writing my first book, My Kid is Driving Me Crazy, a mom's survival guide for living with a child mental illness, I busted open my throat chakra and my root chakra. And what that allowed me to do is create space for everything that the universe had been bringing me to like absorb directly into my body, right into the full capacity of receiving. And that's when my life took off. That's when my business took off. That's when people saw me and heard me and felt me. But it all came down to this book right here. It's going to make me emotional, that if you go to Chapters today, in this moment in time, just chapters.ca, Amazon, whatever, it is live. Like, I'm an author now, like a full-fledged, like, I know I've always been an author since I wrote the book, but it's kind of more like, smack damn it, like, now I'm a freaking author, that you can go, like, legitimately go to, like, Chapters online and get the copy of the book and read it. Now, I want you to know this book is not what you think it's going to be. This book is a pivotal game changer, you guys. It was everything that I did in order to move through that space of when my son and I broke up to standing fully in my power. So it's a really powerful book for anyone, whether you have a child with mental illness or not, at creating the life and the dream that you see and you visualize within yourself. It's the first step of finding out who you are if you've lost yourself in any way, shape, or form. So I know that this book is going to make a huge difference in the world. So if you are connected to the story in this, because it's my story, if anything that I've said to you today, please hold, come in, give me a hug. This is the other child. This is not the one the book's about.
Hello.
Hello, this is Sienna. I love her. Good luck in school today. Have a magical day. She's getting an allergy test today, so I'm going to be sending her love from my retreat.
Oh, it's the grid, not the needles.
Hope it's the grid, not the needles. But this, guys, please, if you are like, I need something to figure out who I am again, if I'm ready to start like putting into process, stepping fully into what I'm here on this earth to do, this book is going to make an impact. And I say that with love because both of my books were channeled on some level. Like the messaging that comes through me is so much greater than just the words that I place on the picture. It's a lot of universal love goes into these books. And I say that dreams come true because, guys, I never gave up. I always wanted to be an author. I always wanted to write. I used to keep journals and poetry books and short stories right beside me on the couch every day writing when I was a little girl. And when Ethan and I had our breakup and I had to figure out who I was again, I went back to that girl on the couch who used to love writing. And this is what came out of it. So very, very excited. I will put the link to the book if you're interested in grabbing it off chapters today. I came out yesterday. I'm so excited. Oh, just hug myself a little bit because it feels really good. So I love you all. Care Bear Stare. Never, never give up. No matter what your dream is, no matter how small or like what you feel is against you, all of those things, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Love, love, love you all so much. Big kisses, big shining lights from my heart to yours. You guys are what makes my world go round. I love you so much. Have a magical, magical day. You guys are my like peeps. I love Instagram so much. It hurts. And I can't wait to be on Instagram more and more and more and more and more and more because Instagram is the bomb. I'm like obsessed with it. And we'll talk soon.